In my workroom, this is my preferred method of doing a Ripplefold header. In the end, I will have a layer of sheer Buckram inserted into the header, and I love the way that it just rounds out the folds and prevents the creases from underneath the Ripplefold snap tape on the front of the panel. So what I've done so far, you can see I don't have the lining. I've got my side hems pressed in. I've got the Ripplefold snap tape stapled 1/8 of an inch below the top fold. And I'm going to begin by sewing the Ripplefold snap tape through the fold up, not through all layers. I have the left Ripplefold foot on, and I'll stitch that left side of the Ripplefold tape. Replace the foot and sew the right side. Okay, we've got the Ripplefold snap tape stitched on. We'll go back to the table, insert the sheer Buckram and the lining, and I'll show you the next step. Now let's complete the panel. This is going to be a no stitches showing on the front of the panel with Buckram and lined. So I've got my piece of Buckram cut, the width of the panel from side seam to side seam. I'll first snug it up along the inside edge of the panel, the top edge of the panel, and slip it up underneath the leading edge side seam. And then I'll take my piece of lining, which has been cut so that at the hem, it will be at the normal hem length, and the top of the lining will snug right up along that top fold of the panel. And it too, on the leading edge, needs to just snug right up underneath that side hem. And then we're going to fold that top edge over. So now we've got everything snugged up right along this top edge. And then I'm going to take my pencil because I want to have a line of stitching just beside the snaps on the panel where the fold is going to go to the back of the panel. These stitches will not be visible once the panel is hanging. Now, once everything is said and done and I've got these stitches in, the panel will all be secure. All layers will be together. But at the leading edge, I'm going to do some hand stitching along this front fold and then down along the bottom just to secure this leading edge. But then in between all of the others, it's perfectly all right for this to be on the front folds that will come to the front of the panel. It's perfectly all right for this to be loose. Now let's go sew the vertical stitching. Now, to hold all of your layers together before you sew the short stitches beside the snaps, you can either staple all of your layers together because you will be going through to the front of the panel, or you can use the Jumbo Wonder clips like I've done here. So I'll take this under my sewing machine foot, and I'm just going to stitch from the top of the snap tape to the bottom of the snap tape, just beside the snap. Again, this is going to be a fold that goes to the back of the panel. Okay, so now we have just a few stitches on the front. You can see, if you look really hard, you can see those. But when the panel is hanging and that fold goes to the back side of the panel, those vertical stitches really don't show at all. And then, as I mentioned, on this leading edge, I'm going to hand tack these layers together. And then on the return edge, I've already got this clipped. When we hand stitch the side hems, I'll also hand stitch it up over the snap tape and across the top of the panel. And that'll just give a nice finished look to that. Now what the Buckram does is it gives just a really beautiful fold and curve to that Ripplefold channel.